So, welcome to Santander. It's a sunny, quiet Saturday morning on the Cantabrian coast. And we've just arrived here at the ferry terminal after our epic 32-hour voyage from Portsmouth. But the journey isn't ending here. We are now going to be visiting Basque Country. And to get there, we're going to be taking the slowest train in Spain. This is a 3-hour journey that traverses just 100 kilometers from Cantabria to the Basque Country. So, join me as we take the train from Santander to Bilbao. So again, this is another of Claire's ideas. We've just survived 32 hours at sea, and now we're gonna take the slowest possible form of public transport from Santander to the next stop, Bilbao.
Slow travel, eh?
Slow travel. But we're not quite sure if the train exists.
Yeah, so this is the other thing, is that there is information online, but the information online is basically that there's no information online. Like, the information online says that the train exists, but you don't know any timetables or costs or anything like that, and you can't buy a ticket until you're at the station. So we've got to try and find the station and see if this train actually exists. I'm pretty sure it does.
Yeah, I read a few posts online that it does exist.
If not, we'll have to get the Elsa.
If not, we'll have to take the bus. But hopefully we'll be able to take the slow train.
Yeah.
So let's go to the train station and find out. Bus and train stations are all in like a little square together. Literally a 5-10 minute walk from the ferry terminal. However, there are 2 train stations by the look of it. There's an older looking one and there's a newer looking one. I'm thinking because this is the old narrow gauge line that we're going to be taking to Bilbao, that it could be the old looking train station we need. All right, so these are the 2 train stations I was talking about. This first one here is the more modern one. And then over this way, on the right hand side there, that's the older looking station where we think we'll be able to get the tickets. Right, so for some reason I'm convinced that we need to go to the older looking station for this one. But we'll find out if that is the case. And what I love about Spain is that you can get these cheap menus del dia and tortilla menus as well. So €8.50 or €9.50. You get a glass of wine, you get a sandwich, you get some sides, a mousse, a flan. Amazing. And this is right next to Santander Estaciones. So yeah, let's head in and see if we can find a ticket to Bilbao. Bilbao. Alright, maybe it's the other station. I think that's for topping up cards.
Oh, maybe.
Alright, that was not the one. Alright, so that didn't work. They sent us back to the modern station, the Renfe station, to get tickets there instead. So I'm guessing the train goes from this other station, not from that one. Luckily, the 2 stations are right next door to each other. I presumed it would be this one, this kind of a rougher looking station, an older looking station I should say, because the narrow gauge line isn't as well used as the high speed ones to like Madrid or other places like that. So let's go in the second station and see what we'll find. Ah, it's a cafeteria FEVE. The FEVEs are the FEVE, are the narrow gauge railway company. So probably should have seen that first and realised that they actually go from this one. So this is the line you want, Santander Bilbao. And there are 4 departures a day from Santander at 7:53, 1:53, 17:02 and 20:35. As you can see, a lot of stops. And there you go, Santander Bilbao.
Oh, nice.
This is the Cantabria line we'll be taking though, so we're in the Santander and it goes east and west. We'll be heading to Bilbao, but you can also head west, I think, to Oviedo. See if we can get tickets to this one, eh?
It's still a bit strange.
Oh, this might be a top-up one again.
It might be, yeah. I think it's a top-up one. Is it?
Right, all the machines are out of service. So
There's no one at the kiosk.
Hola, ¿queremos ir Bilbao?
¿Bilbao?
Bilbao, sí.
A la 1:53. El primero ya salió.
Sí.
Sí. Sí. ¿Podemos comprar los boletos ahí?
Para la 1:53.
At 1:53.
Okay. Comprar.
Sí.
Okay.
Absolute nightmare trying to get hold of a ticket. All of the ticket machines were out of action. And then we found a ticket booth. And the lady, she's very helpful. But she's asked for email addresses, passports, telephone numbers, just to get the tickets. And then she couldn't print them. So we've been sent back to the other station to actually print them off. So the whole process has been a bit of a palaver. It's taken us about 40 minutes to actually find A, the right station, and B, to actually purchase the tickets. They cost about €8 in the end. But they had to go through the whole, I think she was signing us up to Renfe or something like that. And then I don't know what was happening. In the end, it turns out you can actually buy your tickets on the Renfe app, which is what we should have done in the first place.
Hola. Sí. Muchas gracias. Okay. Muchas gracias.
There we go. We finally got the tickets. We got them. After all of that faff, but that's definitely 2 tickets.
That's 2 tickets, yeah. Oh my god.
Go. Santander to Bilbao tickets. These took a lot of effort to get. All right, so the good news is the train does exist. And we finally got our tickets. It's not for another couple of hours though, so we're going to check out Santander before we head on over to Bilbao. And conveniently, the Estación de Autobuses is opposite the train stations. And we've been sent here to drop off our bags so we can go and explore the city. And they've got a left luggage area here. There you go. From here, you can go to Madrid, Bilbao. We're now in the depths of the Santander bus station, just leaving our bags here for a couple of hours. There's a bus going to Bilbao right now. Takes an hour and a half. Could have just hopped on that. But no, the train will be much more interesting, I think. A lot slower, but hopefully the views will be better. Let's hope. Anyway, let's check out Santander for a bit while we're here. It took us so long to sort out those train tickets that the seasons have literally changed. It's now nice and soggy, raining in Santander. So I don't know how much of the city we're going to see before this slow train to Bilbao begins. Here we go, this is the Cathedral of Santander, I believe.
Wabi Sabi, it's called.
Is it called?
Wabi Sabi.
There we go. Let's try out Wabi Sabi. First stop for breakfast, and already loving the Spanish prices. $5.50, $8.20, or $9.90, and you get a full set of breakfast. Okay, avocado, carrots, and more avocado on toast. Alright, so breakfast complete, fueled up, and ready to take this long train. But before we do that, we've got this interesting prelude to the slowest train in Spain. Because in Santander, you can take a travelator and then a funicular to the top of the hill. So yeah, this little travelator takes you up to the top. Nice way to get around Santander. And then the last escalator, breezing up to the top. Oh, the final escalator's out of action. So we've got to walk this last bit. Heading up this even steeper section of Santander is what should be a free funicular. So this is just a little warm-up before our actual train journey across to the Basque Country. Hopefully this train doesn't take 3 hours, it's closer. Here it comes. It's really small. Cool. Let me just get on, I guess. Cool.
I don't think it's technically a funicular. I think.
So yeah, this is more like an elevator because you press these buttons here, don't you?
Por lo demás, bien.
Alright, let's get off here, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sí. Ahora mismo creo que lo he visto un poco, pero no por encima, pero no le presté atención.
Back to you. Alright. There you go, cool viewpoint at the top. I don't know what else there is to do up here. I guess we can just take it back down again. So there goes the funicular / elevator.
Yeah, this isn't actually a funicular because I was looking up funiculars the other day, and a funicular is defined by having two carriages that counterbalance each other, and that's how the movement. They have to move at the same time, and that's how the movement goes.
Oh, there
so
you
this
go.
is not a funicular.
This is not a funicular. There you have it. This is not technically a funicular. It's labelled a funicular on Google Maps, but officially I think it's a lift or an elevator. There you go, Bahia de Santander, Bay of Santander. So this is where we arrived this morning. We came across here to the ferry port, and you can just see here the ferry we arrived on, the Santonia. Yeah, quite a cool viewpoint. Not much to do up here, so we're probably just gonna head straight back down again. All right, so elevator / funicular complete. Now we're gonna head down the hill back towards the seafront, where the journey really started today. Or one journey ended and this journey started. Of course, one of the top things to do in Santander is to take a photo outside the Santander Bank. Just exploring this grand central colonnaded street. I think this building, this archway up ahead, is possibly one of the original Banco de Santander. Now, if you're from the UK, you've most likely banked or know someone that banks with Santander. So for Brits, coming to the hometown of Santander is quite a momentous event. Here we go, the rain and the fog have rolled into the Bay of Santander. But just down there, you can see the ferry we arrived on, the Santonia. So this is the Paseo de Maritimo, or the Maritime Passage. And then down here, this building is the Piece de Resistance of Santander. This is their answer to the Guggenheim. This is Boitin Centro. The weather is getting a little bit grim, and we could be in Bilbao right now if we'd taken the bus. But we asked the tourism information booth, there's a lady there at the ferry terminal, and she said, I quote, "Why would you take the train to Bilbao? It's long. It takes twice as long as the bus. 3 hours," she said, when you can be there in a fraction of that time. So clearly she's not a train lover, but we'll see if the train proves her wrong, because it should be a beautiful journey at least. So, big bag of supplies. We got queso, potato salad, coffees to keep us going on this journey, and some healthier stuff too. So yeah, now it's time to head back to the bus station to get our bags, and then head over to the train station to catch the train at 2 p.m. Let's go. Yeah. It's a very brutalist looking bus station, isn't it? Very concrete, very garish. Here's the entrada. Hey, it worked. And bags still here. All right, so back in the main station. And yes, the train does leave from here. Oh, hello.
The lady just confused me more, to be honest.
Why?
I don't know.
What did she say?
I didn't really understand. I think she just asked if I had the tickets. And she
Oh,
said if you have
okay.
any problems, you can ask me, I think. I
Oh,
was like, why would I have any problems?
All right, well, let's hope that we don't have any more problems. We had enough problems getting tickets. Completely unnecessary problems as well, I should add. Just book on the Renfe app. Yeah, looking forward to this leisurely train ride now. As long as we can find the right platform now. Knowing what's happened today. Who knows what disasters await us. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if these tickets these hard-earned tickets work. So there you go, this is what the trains look like. We got 2 carriages. Petite, very petite. So this will be our train for the next 3 hours. Not much leg room. That's ridiculous.
I don't know if there's a toilet on this train.
I'm not sure, there might be one at the back there. So this is the train. Now home for the next 3 hours. Managed to score myself a bit of leg room, apart from this case. So a lot of them are like a facing each other setup, like a twin setup. We've got a triple setup. All I can say is I hope there's a toilet on here. I didn't see one getting on, but we'll find out later. Otherwise it's 3 hours. It's a long time, especially after coffee. And we're off, finally.
Just 3 hours to go.
3 hours to go. Oh, and there's a train museum on the outskirts of Santander. There you go, FEVE. FEVE. I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm not sure if it's an acronym. Probably is, isn't it? Yeah, so this line is run by FEVE, or FEVE, FEVE, who work now with Renfe, but they were the original sort of company that I think built this line. And they built it running east and west from Santander, so you could get pretty much all the way along the north coast of Spain. And the lines are still there, I think, mostly. But yeah, it just takes a long time to get from A to B. But if you've got, a good chunk of time to spend in the north, good way to get around. Here we are, the first stop, 5 minutes outside of Santander. Stand corrected, not even 5 minutes. It was 3 minutes from Santander.
Only 2 hours and 7 minutes to go.
Yeah. This is going to be a slow one.
Actually, it's 3 hours, 3 minutes.
3 hours and 3 minutes total. The slowest.
3 hours to go.
The slowest train in Spain. Is that right?
Well, yeah, it might be slowest in Europe, to be honest.
Possibly the slowest in Europe. It's quite slow, isn't it?
Yeah, it was speeding along earlier.
It's rolling through the countryside. And the food is out. We got some salad and some queso, some train queso. And some potato salad. Just what you need. So plenty of time to ponder on this train, but also to research. So this entire line, this narrow gauge line, is a 1 meter gauge rail track, which is one of the reasons why it's a lot slower than the modern high-speed Renfe trains, which whip through the countryside. So FEVE actually means Ferrocarriles de Vía Estrecha, which literally means narrow gauge railway in Spanish. So it is what it says on the tin. But the line we're on, which goes to Bilbao, actually comes all the way from a place called Ferrol, which is on the northwest coast of Spain. And there's 100 stops between there and Bilbao, which is why this is the slowest train in Spain and possibly in Europe. So the distance between Santander and Bilbao is about 75 kilometres of railway track, no more than 100 anyway. And 3 hours, if you do the math, that's about 25 kilometres an hour max, which is slow. But it's a pleasant, enjoyable journey. And you get to see some glorious countryside. This is probably about as fast as it gets, isn't it? So the narrow gauge line dates back to 1956, during the Franco regime, I guess. And yeah, it was taken over by Renfe a couple of years ago, but they've obviously not really changed much. They've just kept the same narrow gauge line, which is quite cool. So we're writing a little piece of Spanish railway history here. An hour into the journey now, rolling through the Cantabrian countryside, inching towards Basque Country. It's very green around here. So the train just stops at all these tiny little rural stations. Like this one's Maron. I think that means round, isn't it? So I wondered why the train was so empty. Apparently we're stopping here in Maron and we've got to get on a bus now. So we've just been kicked off in Maron. Somewhere in Cantabria, no idea where we are. And apparently there's going to be a bus. I'm not sure why. Hola.
¿Dónde vais? Bilbao.
Bilbao.
Viene un bus, os recoge el bus y os lleva. Bilbao, ¿vale?
¿Dónde esperamos?
¿Dónde el taxi?
Ahí, ok. ¿Cuánto?
10-15 minutos.
Gracias. Don't quite know why it's stopped, but it seems like there's a rail replacement bus halfway along. So after all that, maybe the lady in Santander was right, or we should have just taken the bus. Autobus.
Viene ahora un autobús.
Okay, so aquí or aquí? Okay.
Gracias. El tren regresa a Santander.
Sí, el tren va a Santander.
Ah, okay. No Bilbao.
No, es que están arreglando la vía. Arreglando la vía. La han levantado y arreglando.
Ah, okay. Annoying. Oh well. There we go. At least we got to see Maron. Tiny train station, about an hour's ride along the narrow gauge railway. But we're just talking to the driver in sort of mix of Spanish and English, and he says that they're basically doing some maintenance, I think, on the tracks today. So we picked a bad day for it. So now we're going to wait here for the rail replacement bus to turn up. This was supposed to be the train to Bilbao, but it's turned into the train to Maron. Oh well, we should get there at some point. All right, so I think the rail replacement bus is here. It's turned up. Vamos a Bilbao. It's in here, I guess. Hola. There's no one on here. All right.
I really don't know what's going on.
Take a seat.
Is this go to application? That's what the English go, right?
Yeah.
We will go by bus till Falla. I'll tell you, don't worry.
Okay.
I go down there too,
Okay.
And there you can take another train to Bilbao.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go with you to the station.
Okay.
This train is broken, sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Do the trains come more often? Are those trains more frequent?
The other train, what you are going to take is 40 minutes, every 30 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
40 minutes.
And
Okay.
You won't have to wait.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, so the mystery continues. Apparently the train line is broken. We're currently the only people on this bus, other than the bus driver and the Renfe representative. And now we've got to go to another train station where we're going to find a train to hopefully get to Bilbao. So yeah, I don't know how long this bus ride is going to last. We're hoping that we don't stop at every single little station along the way. I imagine if it's a rail replacement service for the train, we may well be stopping at every little station from here to Bilbao. Or near Bilbao. I'm not sure where this station is we're going to, where we're going to get on the train again. Could be 10 minutes away, could be an hour away. Oh, glorious. So we're getting into the foothills of the Pyrenees now. I mean, on the plus side, we're passing through some glorious mountain scenery. Alright, so we're now officially in the Basque Country. We've just crossed from Cantabria into the next province, to the land of the mysterious Basques. We'll be finding out more about in Bilbao. So we stopped in the very Basque sounding town of Cantabria, where I'm not sure if we're staying on or getting off. We'll find out in a sec. There you go, Athletic Bilbao football club flag up there. It means we're in the Basque Country. And we just stopped here because we're picking up more passengers who would have been at the next station along, and then we're going to carry on the same route as the train. Next stop, we made it to the Basque town of Zala, and apparently there's a station here that might be in action and that can get us to Bilbao. This, I believe, is sort of the mass rapid transit system that's part of Bilbao's greater metro. So yeah, the slowest train in Spain didn't even get us to our destination. But one narrow gauge train, a bus, and then hopefully just one more train, and we'll finally be in Bilbao. The second train of the day. Oh, this is still FEVE. Maybe it's narrow gauge. Looks busy. We finally made it to Bilbao. So we're not even at the main station, but our hotel is kind of near one of the metro stations. So that last stretch was just on the mass transit system. Really wasn't the the fun slow train we were expecting. It was crowded. It was rush hour, and I had to stand for about 45 minutes. Oh, welcome to Bilbao, well, the outskirts of Bilbao. Anyway, it's about 5:30, and I think we were supposed to be here about 5 o'clock. So. Only half an hour late, although the Spain's slowest train didn't actually get us here. But we got here another way. But anyway, I'm sure if the train wasn't broken as it was today, it would have been a pretty amazing train ride. Anyway, we saw quite a lot from the bus and from the mass transit system we ended up on, which was pretty epic as we came into Basque Country. So yeah, now we are in Basque land, the land of the Basques. So yeah, mission sort of complete, sort of not complete. We made it to Bilbao, so that's the main thing. But yeah, Spain's slowest train failed us when we needed it most. Yeah, now it's time for some pinchos and cold beer, a Zorrito, as they call it in Bilbao. Alright guys, so it's the next day after our arrival in Bilbao yesterday, and just as a little postscript to this video, if the train from Santander to Bilbao had actually gotten us to Bilbao, this is where we would have ended up, at the Abando station. And you can see behind me this historic train station in Bilbao. You've got the FEVE cafe, where you can presumably enjoy a cold Zorrito and some pinchos before you head off on your journey. Or if you actually made it on the journey, unlike us, you could enjoy some pinchos at the end of your slow train ride from Santander. But if you're making the same journey, hopefully you'll have better luck than us and the train actually gets you here. While we're here, let's take a quick look inside the Abando station. Not much going on. Cafe looks closed as well. Oh, there you go. According to the departures board, there is a train to Santander today. So that was it. Not as grand on the inside as it looked on the out. But opposite the FEVE station, you also have the Abando station, which is just behind me. And this is where a lot of the sort of regional citywide lines terminate. And there's a beautiful stained glass window in there. That's the end of this video. But catch us next time. We'll be exploring Bilbao and the Basque Country. Thanks for watching.